Roll, rock and roll. Let's go. Oh, the sound. The sound. All right. Nice. It's a nice feature that you can resume the previously interrupted broadcast. Yeah, I really like that. Really nice feature there. So, cool. We are gonna play some Zelda. Cool. We are gonna play. Oh, as it comes on through. Oh, yo, as it comes on through. Oh, yeah, screen looks cool. So, those of you that are new to the channel here, welcome to Sunny Hippies. Please subscribe and like it. Really helps the algorithms out. I used to hate when people say that all the time, but uh, here I am saying it. If you could subscribe and like, I appreciate it. The news will be uploaded soon. Morning Joe news. Uh, and then I go around the world and collect news from everywhere, Al Jazeera, Sky News, CNN, even Fox News um, a little bit of blogs, but mostly CBS, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, Al Jazeera, those kind of things. Sky News, BBC. I try to get a lot of different sources for every story, trying to cover China, um, Russia, UK, America, Canada. Try to get a different perspective on different things. The Gaza story I cover with CBS, ABC, CNN, Al Jazeera, Global News. Um, all the different sides and also make sure Israel's story is told and Gaza's story is told, the Palestinian people, um, what they're going through on the ground, as well as what Israel is thinking. Um, so both sides are represented. With Israel and Gaza, Palestine, it's, in my opinion, uh, Netanyahu's a war criminal. Hamas is also bad. They're two terrible leaders. It's reached a point now, though, where Hamas is afraid to give up the hostages because they feel like they could be annihilated. So, and there's a lot of support for Hamas because um, Netanyahu's not outlining a clear enough exit ramp, in my opinion. It's funny on the Zelda video, but in my opinion, Netanyahu needs to offer a stronger exit ramp. In other words, if you surrender the hostages, this is what's going to happen. Number one, we'll stop bombing. We will leave. We'll give you more land. We'll give you more water. Um, we'll help you rebuild your hospitals. We'll help you elect a new leadership. Versus what Trump is actually saying, we want to get Jordan and Egypt to take in Gaza and build a resort. So like At this point, it's like they're making it harder for Hamas to release the when they say things like clear them out, build a resort. You know what I mean? They should be saying, I prefer what the Democratic American leaders were saying with Joe Biden and even Bill Clinton saying, we want to give Palestine a little, more land, more water wells, secure the West Bank, secure the corridor, make sure Israel and Palestinian are both secure and safe so the people there can prosper, not like what Trump is saying is clear them out. I prefer the and it creates a lot of distrust around the world because you have to be consistent. You can't say, well, this and Netanyahu's no good, just like, you know, they need to get I'd want to see new leadership in the United States and Israel. But anyway, this is Zelda. We're here to play video games and not get into politics too much. But I've been against Hamas, and I'm also not in favor of Netanyahu. So it's a very it's like arguing, John Wayne Gacy versus Dahmer with a who's the biggest asshole, Nice feature. It allowed me to, because the audio doesn't work. I have to like turn on the broadcasting software with the mic on. Otherwise, if I turn the mic on after the broadcasting software, it can't read it. So I have to like turn the broadcasting software on, turn the mic on, and then upload it, and then it can detect it. If it's already on this computer, this is running through the computer, so it doesn't. Once it comes on, it can't like tap in, so you have to like close the broadcasting software and then reopen it, and then it detects the already on mic. If the mic's not already on, it doesn't detect it, and you turn it on and it still doesn't detect it. So you have to turn the software on and back on, and that's what happened today. And but YouTube has a feature that says restart, resume the broadcast. Do you want to resume the interrupted? So I don't have to go in and do all the settings over again. So good job, YouTube, on your resume the broadcast programming. Excellent job, YouTube. State of the art programming on YouTube, I must say. And I really enjoyed the do you want to reuse these tag feature. I wish they had the reuse tag all on everything. They have a reuse tag if you upload a new video, but can't we reuse a tag on a new live video? I know I could, there's a reuse settings, but it doesn't like, I still have to go manually do the tags every single time. And they tend to be the same tags every day. Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. The only thing it changes is like chapter 21 now instead of chapter 20. So, but I have to manually do that every time. So if they could, but you can, if you're uploading a new video, you can reuse the tags, but if it's alive, you can't reuse the text. So they should have the reuse. Like I'm just reusing the tags from yesterday. I'm putting it in the same playlist as yesterday. So why can't I? So have a reuse details for live videos also, and maybe improve what's on OBS. Yeah, I was learning Grateful Dead Ripple, and then I wrote a whole new song. And then I realized that it's not a whole new song; it's Standing on the Moon. So hopefully this game doesn't crash and it's all gravy. This Video's uploading soon. Once this video uploads, if I could close the YouTube, it'll be a little better. Looks like this is just 3 minutes away. So I uploaded onto Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky. It's the only social media I enjoy anymore. Honestly, Blue Sky is the only and I hate to be like at an echo chamber, but YouTube's not an echo chamber, but something about Facebook is very triggering. Facebook I don't enjoy. It's just very triggering. It's like combative, and it's just so hard. Someone said if you just don't look at the notifications at all and you just communicate with your friends, then it's not so bad. But the notifications are just like clam, 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 clam. And it's really, I can't take it on Blue Sky. It's not so much like that. It's more of a like-minded community. Like I can go Rachel Maddow, like she got a million uh, followers, which is pretty staggering. And it's not thousands of people hating her like you would get on Facebook or even Instagram. It's like, you could block the people pretty quickly, and I guess they have good I don't know, but there's like thousands of Rachel Maddow fans, and it's nice that she can post without getting attacked, and I can find like-minded people, and it's not I mean, there's still like some conflict, but it seems like it's easier to manage. Like I was debating with one person yesterday. It's not dozens of people, and I don't know. I hope it stays that way because the a lot of the other apps have gotten destroyed. Yahoo got destroyed with the chat bots and everything. Um, Yahoo chat used to be really cool, and all the chats they get infiltrated, and they're like MAGA haters, and like they're like, and it reminds me of the Grateful Dead concert when they had a slip and slide. It was so hot that they had the fire hose on, and people were sliding on the slip and slide on the turf at Three Rivers Stadium, and it was a lot of fun when it was like organic and natural, and people were just like running and jumping and stuff. But then these bros, like with their fucking hats on, with their like baseball caps on and everything, they felt the need like to organize it and form a line, and then they're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, let's go, man. No, I'm not interested in forming this, like they're turning it into a thing. Like now they'll start charging tickets like $1, you go down the slide. It's like, dude, when it was just a slippery thing and when it was just chaos, it was fun. Now that you're trying to organizing it, like, and it just it reminds me like with the 2020 the George Floyd protests. Um, then like Trump had to have some protests because they're like he's jealous like of anything they're doing that he feels like he's not a part of it. So and he's like, well, we have our protests. These are our, like everything has to be, the bros have to organize the fucking slip and slide. They have to have their. It's just like, can't you just let chaos be chaos? Can't you just let people have fun and be themselves without feeling like your hand has to be in the pie and everything? For fuck's sake. Or if you don't like something, you have to like comment on and like you don't want those people to talk like you can't just not follow something. You have to get them thrown out of the group, or you have to get them expelled, or you have to like cancel their license, or you have to, you know, rally against it. You can't just not watch something that you don't like. Like, okay, Aaron Rodgers, for example. I'm not a big fan of what he has to say politically, but if he's a great quarterback, I could just not watch the Pat McAfee show and enjoy his play on the field. It doesn't have to be like this, like let's end. Aaron Rodgers has a right to speak. What's the worst thing he does? He talks on the radio. I don't agree with, and he says dangerous things. And then the anti-vax stuff is really bad. And when you have a leader like that, you should be more responsible in what you're saying. And so I don't particularly like that as like a leader of the football. But as far as like putting aside my politics, the 4,000 yards that he passed for last year on the field, like his quarterback play on the field, is top 10 in the league. So, you know, fundamentally speaking on the radio, he's not smoking crack, he's not raping women, like some other quarterbacks may have been doing. You know what I mean? Like he's talking on the radio, exercising his freedoms. Fundamentally, it's a pretty good thing. I don't agree with what he's saying, and it's dangerous for someone in his position. I say something, nobody listens. There's one freaking viewer. But Aaron Rodgers has millions of listeners, so he says anti-vax stuff, it's really bad. That being said, I'm in favor of him being a quarterback. I'm just capable of separating the two things. But I guess that's where I'm guilty. That's like my guilt because when it comes to like the band Burzum, I don't listen to Burzum anymore because he's a homophobic guy and he like killed like or he stabbed a gay or whatever and he like killed the guitar player. Like he's a murderer, homophobe, and so I like no longer enjoy his music. You know what I mean? But if Aaron Rodgers says some dumb shit on Pat McAfee show, and I'm a very pro science and pro doctor, but and he says some anti-vax shit on Pat McAfee. It does make me mad, but I could still like kind of separate that and enjoy his play on the field. If he's throwing touchdowns, I could kind of like now if he's shitty on the field and shitty on the radio, I don't know, but he still produced the Jets stink, so you can't say, oh, the Jets were 5-12. Yeah, the Jets freaking stink. That's why he wants to come to Pittsburgh and win. The Steelers win with Mason Rudolph, who also has bad politics, by the way. You know what I mean? Trubisky also has shit politics. Arthur Smith has shit politics that I don't agree with. You know what I mean? So you have to, and this is what I'm saying with Zelda too. We can maybe ignore the politics and play some Zelda. My cat's right here, by the way. But yeah, it is the tit for tat stuff. Um, and it's a shame that they demonized Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee to protest police brutality, and Elon Musk does a Sieg Heil Hitler salute. It wasn't even a wave; it was like a full-on smack heart, bite lip. Like I didn't sleep for 2 weeks when I saw him do that. Being a Jewish person who grew up studying the Holocaust and to watch him like in addition to that like tweeting Holocaust denial like posts and stuff and then quickly like and then deny it, just really gross and it was something I never hoped to see in this country and I know these people have always been around. You watch the movie American X with Norton and stuff, but it's just this double standard, where like, Colin Kaepernick is persecuted and demonized, and they want to pretend like this other thing didn't even happen at all. It's sickening because if you look at the song Francis Keys, it's a very racist song. It says, "No black shall live from the crack of the whip, or no Negroes shall escape the crack of the whip or the grave." And they left that line out because it's racist, you know. So I should put up like politics stuff and not just I just end up talking because it's on my mind. But I would like the as an American, I would like to see the American national anthem changed to uh, "Land of the Free and the Home of the Brave." That's a much better song. It's from sea to shining sea. I like that song so much better, and it encapsulates the nature, the forests, the rivers, instead of bombs blowing up in the air. I don't like that national anthem, and I'm in favor of Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, and I'm in favor of the protests because I don't like the car burnings and stuff. You don't want to like um, commit vandalism, but the peaceful protests are good. I mean, I get it. You get super angry. You want to, but you got to refrain from doing that because you don't want to be the one that opens the door for violence, or you don't want to be the one that starts the trouble, the bad trouble, the burning. And a lot of the 2020 protest, it was MAGA with their Molotov cocktails and their Trump flags starting fires and then pointing at the the peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters. You saw how peaceful they were at the Capitol building, smashing windows, you know, grabbing police officers. That's not peaceful. Building a guillotine, like that's not a peaceful uh, thing. They had weapons around. And listen, I'm for some of the pardons because when Trump did pardon those people, I mean, it's his fault that they went there. And so in some ways he is responsible to pardon them. But the violent ones who were like had guns and had other convictions and shit, the wide sweeping pardon, because he doesn't want to look into it. He does whatever's easiest. And it's a nice shock headline for him. You know what I mean? But they should have looked into like if you have other crimes, you know, um, if you physically attacked a police officer, you know, then you're like a danger to society. You know what I mean? But if you were just there because you're like caught up in the drama, then sure, maybe pardon them. But if you like were like smashing a cop, man, then it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? You smash a cop, that's like a crime. So I wasn't for the wide sweeping pardons. I could see pardoning some of the people because it is his fault that they went there. The other thing that upsets me is Trump's always saying it wasn't his fault that the war in the Ukraine happened, as if we're supposed to forget the impeachment. Because he was impeached and he withheld the defend funding. And when he withheld the defense funding for 6 months, Trump assembled troops along the border. So he says, oh, the war would have never happened. He was impeached for withholding defense funding. Well, that's what allowed Russia to encroach in the first place. Yeah, you could say Obama let him take Crimea, but Obama slapped sanctions on him and stopped him from encroaching any further at the time. Uh, Whereas Trump just withheld the defense funding altogether and let him like assemble along the border. So when Biden came in, they were already right there, boom, ready to go. So Trump just blamed Biden, but it was really Trump's fault for withholding the funding for 6 months. But you could play tit for tat, but if Trump didn't say anything at all, I probably wouldn't be on my mind. But he's always saying on TV, this would have never happened if it wasn't for me. This would have never happened if it wasn't for me. This would have never happened if it was. But he withheld the defense funding. Like he always says this terrible Canada trade agreement. He in 2020 he signed the Trump Canada trade agreement. He's the one. So he says the stuff. If he didn't say it, like he blatantly lies. He's like, this would have never started if it wasn't for me. And he's saying, hey everyone, forget about that impeachment. This would have never happened if it wasn't for me. Hey everyone, forget about that impeachment. You know what I mean? And that's why it pisses me off because I feel like what he's really saying is, hey, forget about that impeachment, everyone. Or, hey, forget about that awful trade deal that I did in 2020. Forget that it was me. That maybe it is awful, but like forget it was me. So I don't know. I've said for years that I don't care if it's Democratic or Republican, that these politicians should be held accountable for lying. If it's proof that they're lying, then they should be fined. But you know what? Trump was proof that he was lying. He went to court for fraud and they found him guilty. He had to pay $250 million for lying to the public and misrepresenting his real estate figures and then lying about the payoff to Stormy Daniels, which is a misdemeanor, but it's a felony during an election because you're not allowed to lie to the public. Like so, there are laws for lying, and he did get caught for lying, but uh, he just says, "Eh, that's just the people that don't like me." And you have people like Russell Brand, who just got cooked for rape. And I should be more popular than Russell Brand. I'm funnier and I'm not a rapist. But you have people like Russell Brand, uh, you know, saying, "Oh, it's just his rape and fraud. It's just the mainstream media out to get him, and it's just the Democrats out to get him. And it doesn't matter that there's six Republicans on the jury. It's oh, the jury's out to get him. Everyone's out to get. Trump's the victim. He's always the victim. He's not a rapist. He's not a fraud. He's not an adulterer. He's just a victim." So it's really sickening. And they just believe whatever he says. They don't need proof. They don't need to verify sources. It's just like, and that's what I was trying to explain to people they're like mocking Trump on Truth Social, and saying, "Oh, look how stupid he is." The point is, he's not stupid. He knows what he's saying isn't true. He's just saying this because he knows that like a million people will believe it, whatever he says. So he's like, "Here, look at this bullshit. I'll tell him the sky is no longer blue. The sky is yellow. The clouds are fucking pink, and the grass is fucking red." And his fucking his asshole mega fans will, "Yeah, sky's now yellow." Whatever he says, they'll just repeat whatever, and that's why um, Elon Musk had to buy X because they know that they'll ban whatever bullshit he spews on Facebook or even Instagram or TikTok would probably ban Musk pretty quick for spewing all the bullshit he spews and the fucking anti-Jew shit he spews. So he has to buy the whole fucking platform so they don't shut him the fuck up. You know what I mean? Just because they threw Trump off. Do you know why Trump threw Trump off of Facebook the first time? Because he shared a Mussolini fucking. And at the time, I thought, oh man, he's sharing, but I didn't know Mussolini was below Hitler, and Mussolini um, learned fascism from D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio was a poet, just an angry poet who would say things like what Elon Musk said today or yesterday about the people coming into Italy, and then it's no longer Italy anymore. That's like with Mussolini's fascism shit from 1920. Direct fucking quote. Elon Musk is like directly quoting fucking fascists now. He's saying, uh, if too many people come into Italy, it's no longer Italy, and that's the same fascism shit that Mussolini and D'Annunzio started, and then Hitler took control of it and really perfected it. And now Trump's kind of using it too with the cats and dogs eating Haitian shit. Hitler said Jews are eating babies, trying to perpetuate hate. They know the shit they're saying isn't true, but the people will believe it and act violently because, you know, they're just trying to inflame people. They're just gaslighting and inflaming, you know, like Trump said, he knew the coronavirus was 20 times worse than the flu, but he went on air and said, that's exactly like the flu because they don't care. They don't care if people die. They want like more poverty, and then people are easier to control and shit like that. Because why not just tell the truth? If Trump would have said, "Hey, it's exactly like," if Trump would have said, "Hey, this is 20 times worse than," or 5 times, if he would have said, "This is 3 times worse than the flu," he said, "If you wear a mask, it'll cut down transmission 10%." You still have a chance to, but it'll cut down trans 300,000 because over like 1.3 million people, but 300,000 lives would have been saved if he would have just told the truth. So I don't get his lying. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally. But like I was saying, if he didn't just lie, then like I wouldn't. He says the war would have never started if it wasn't for him. I'm like, well, what about the impeachment? Might have forgot about the impeachment, but he's making me remember, you know. So it is what it is. Anyway, that's my politic rant, and we could stop talking about politics and play some Zelda. I had to get that. I've been meaning to. I think I should do because I watch a lot of these politics rants, politic shows on YouTube, but I was like, I should do one. There's a lot of stuff that I feel I could put together and bring to people. A lot of it's already being done though, but and nobody's paying me to do this. It's just kind of the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I believe that I like to share with people. So I do it for free, you know. I'm disabled. I wish I could work. I have to be careful talking, even like talking like this is it's dangerous for my heart. I've got to like calm down and stuff. Got to be careful not getting myself too angry or too excited. I know I probably shouldn't smoke this marijuana, but you know, the doctor said he thinks it's better than uh as far as like an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety or something to calm you down or you know because you have the heart disease and you're stuck at home. I get tired just walking in the other room. You'll see me playing this game and I'll play for like 10 minutes and I'm like I gotta go to sleep. I just shut down and crash because of um, it's tough. But so actually have to be careful talking like some like that, getting myself all worked up and angry, and and you'll see that in the movies. They'll say, "Hey, calm down, you know. Here, sit down, relax, getting yourself too worked up." It's like Putin's peace, man. It's like when Putin says peace, it's like, can you imagine someone like kicking in your door, raping your wife, killing all your kids, and then saying, "Hey, let me eat in peace, man. Hey, I just want peace." That's what it's like, man. They took like 20% of the region. They take women away in the buses that they rape after they kill the people. Kill half the people. Take away, you know, the others. God knows where. 500,000 sex slaves estimated in Russia. Look all this shit up. Don't trust me. Go look it up. Google and verify everything for yourself. Why do you think Trump uh, brought Tate to Florida? It's a bad look if you're associating with Epstein, Tate, and Putin. Those are three sex trafficking motherfuckers, man. Why are you associating with them people, Trump? Come on, have some fucking ethics, bro. Have some moral ethics here, bro. Come on. Can't be associating with Putin, Trump, and Epstein, bro. It's a bad look. So that's their peace. Their peace is like, hey, I just got done raping your wife. Hey, let me eat your fucking steak dinner in peace. You know what I mean? All right, I'm finally baked. I'm baked enough to play this game. Zelda, we could forget about politics for a while. Well, when it reaches a point where I'm watching the news and I've seen it all already, or sometimes I'm ahead of the news. Like I watched something on MSNBC and I've already shared it because I saw it on Global News or BBC or Sky. Not that there, but sometimes it works the other way. Sometimes Al Jazeera shows something and I've already seen it on NBC. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? All right, no more Tolix sits. Man, I'm so high. What am I supposed to do in this game? This game is really hard, by the way. I should play. I should play football, Baldur's Gate. Listen, people might say, "Oh, you're disabled. You get to sit at home, smoke weed, and play games all day. It's a great life." Listen, man, I want to tell you something. People out there want to say, "Oh, you're just collect Social Security and sit at home and smoke weed and play video games." And I'm trying to make tie dyes to boost my income a little bit. This is a Steelers tie dye I made. The vinyl doesn't come out very good. I'm trying to do, but on Social Security. You're trying to start a business, so it takes like this little printer here. It's a $90 printer. I could buy one thing a month and then it broke. So I have to like wait another month and buy the printer. But so I can't make shirts for 30 days. So my web orders are just it's just so hard to start a business. I don't want to go too much on it, but when you're poor, but like listen, I had a better life when I was able to work. When I used to work at law firms and banks around the city, and I made close to a six-figure income, and I had a car, and I went on vacation all the time. I went to every concert in Pittsburgh. I went to, 8 football games a year. I went to a dozen hockey games a year. I always had girlfriends, you know what I mean? And now it's hard for me just to like talk like this. I'm running out of breath. I'm not just trying to illustrate it. I'm like huffing and puffing just from talking too much. So this is why I can no longer work. I'm disabled. I get tired just talking too much. I'm starting to get lightheaded. Um, and it's a chore to do anything. When I go get groceries and bring them home, it's like, it's a fucking event, dude. So for those of you saying, "Oh, you're living high," first of all, Social Security is small. It's hard to get by on $1,000 a month. How much is rent? Who you try to find a place for under $1,000 a month, and then you have to tell the people, uh, uh, they say, "Oh, you need to make 3 times or 4 times as much as the rent." So the rent is $700. You need to 742. You need $3,000 a month to rent the $700. So say my rent's I get $1,000 a month Social Security, $700 a rent. If I could find a place, if I could get someone to co-sign, then that leaves me $300 left over. When I was working, I made like $3,000 a month. I could pay my rent and have $2,000 spending money. I could afford a car. I could put $1,000 in the bank, have a car. You know what I mean? Go to every concert. It was much better, man. So don't sit there and tell me, you know, like the discrimination against people. Not like 'cause if you're like really old and in a wheelchair, they don't discriminate against you. But if you're like young looking like me, people say, "Oh, you should work. You can have a job." You know, or they accuse you of being a freeloader on the government or something like that. But listen, man, I'd much rather work if I was able, man. My life was much better when I had a car and I wasn't disabled, man. Trust me. So this is like consolation prize. Like, well, look, if I'm stuck at home disabled all the time, I might as well use my programming skills and my, you know, my crafting skills to try to earn money this way by like, sharing the things I love and they like to demonize making money like, oh, Bernie Sanders was selling his book. Like, so what? What all of a sudden Bernie Sanders? I don't understand. Donald Trump is the president and you're mad at Bernie Sanders for selling a book. How many books has Donald Trump sold? Like everything he does is a fucking sale. Dude. He's selling fucking cars on the Tesla lot, turning the White House into a fucking car dealership like a fucking international joke. They're making jokes in fucking British, press about Tesla and shit. And somehow Bernie Sanders selling a book is 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 a fucking mention or Chuck Schumer selling a book as a mention. Who cares? He could sell a fucking book if he wants. If people want to buy his book, what's wrong with him selling a? He sold a. Fucking Trump is a rapist. He fucking raped E. Jean Carroll. The only reason it's not called rape is because they're not sure if it was this little fucking 1 inch wiener or a coat hanger that entered her vagina. But they found his semen on her dress. And you want to talk about Chuck Schumer's trying to sell a book? Writing a book is a good thing. It's great he write. I'd love to read the memoirs of how he's been battling uh, Trump in the Senate and courts for 10 years. Probably an interesting read. Trump is a fucking rapist. Who cares if Chuck Schumer's selling a fucking book or not? And I think, what do you want they need to do more? What do you want them to do? Declare fucking war? Like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, what do you want them to do? Yeah, they're having some decorum. They're trying to still fucking have a country. They're still trying to work the fucking Congress. They're still trying to. It's not business as usual, but you want business as usual because we love America. We love the country. We love the Constitution. We're hoping the judges, and the judges are. Uh, the Venezuelan case is a perfect example. The judges toeing the line. The judges said, "Well, Trump, Trump, yes, you can deport them, but you have to do it within the law." So the Supreme Court was pretty smart. They said, "Well, okay, you can do this, but you have to do it this way, and we'll see if they obey." So far, they are obeying to a certain degree. They're pushing it to the fucking limit. They said, "Oh, well, the plane was already in the air." And so that's another legal battle. But they haven't said fuck you. They said so it's like because Judge the Trump is still trying to respect the democracy or at least put on the facade of it. Now he's trying to push it to the edge, and I'm not saying he's not uh, running like an people are afraid to say fascist Nazi dictator, but you have Elon Musk saluting Hitler on the fucking. You have to look at what white nationalism really is, man. And white nationalism, uh, I think not a lot of people understand this or really talk about it. But what white nationalism really is, and what Mussolini really talked about, because Mussolini didn't care if you were Jewish or not. Um, Hitler didn't like Jews because uh, Well, because his mom got fucked by a Jew and cheated, and it caused a family rift. So he grew up hating Jews because his mom fucked a Jew behind dad's back. You could look all this shit up. So uh, Hitler grew up hating Jews, but Mussolini didn't really hate Jews. Mussolini just hated civil rights. Anyone who had civil rights thinking, and Mussolini would say he likes civil rights. He's a civil rights socialist, and but then he co-opted the name socialist into national socialism because he hated like the socialists were like the civil rights socialists, and he said I hate the civil rights socialists. So he started national socialism, which was Nazi, which Hitler turned into full-on Nazi. But it came from D'Annunzio saying they're infiltrating from Ethiopian, they're going to come to Italy, and Italy's not going to become Italy anymore because the Ethiopians are going to come in, uh, and so that's why when Musk just said the other day on Fox News that Italy is going to not be Italy anymore, like he's repeating Mussolini, and so you if you want to talk about is Trump a Nazi, is Trump a Hitler, is I mean you have to look at just what they're saying and what they're doing, and Mussolini talked about the war on civil rights, and he hated anything to do with civil rights. And so that's what it was. Hitler was really against Jews and the geneticism. So if you look at Elon Musk, he's more like he's kind of like he's like Hitler in his beliefs, but if you listen to Errol Musk, they believe that they're better than the Nazis. That they don't consider themselves Nazis because the Nazis were like they're Americans, and so they can say they're not Nazis and like not be lying about it because they're like but they are white nationalists and they do hate um, civil rights, and so these are things that they can't really deny. You know that they hate civil rights, and the tariff thing is really weird because Mussolini tried to do that. It's like it's part of like a nationalism, but it actually uh, there are signs that said that Mussolini's economy was pretty good, that he did fix the economy, and by becoming an isolationist. But he overextended his army and would get his ass kicked all the time. When it came to military battles, they needed the Americans to bail them out. Some of the Americans liked Mussolini in the beginning, before he started his socialism camps. He started to hate Jews later on. He had a Jewish lover, Mussolini, but he started to hate Jews later on when to kind of like appease Hitler, because Hitler was like, even though Hitler came after Mussolini, they were friends, and Hitler considered Mussolini his only friend. He said to him, "You're my only friend," um, before he killed himself. And they said because when Hitler saw what happened to Mussolini, they stripped him naked, hung him and his girlfriend and the fascist, because fascism is a full-on uh, political movement. That the fascism is like it's kind of like democratic, republican, fascism, and what they believe is they hate civil rights. Um, And so that's the root of it is they hate civil rights because at the root of this is they believe that they work hard for the money and they want to keep it for themselves or their friends. They don't want to give it to these other people who might dilute uh, their culture. The black people, the brown people, anyone who's not them basically, but and the Mussolini interesting thing is it wasn't necessarily based on you could be a Jew, but if you hated civil rights, you could get in. So that's one thing. If you look at America, there's always like a black dude on Fox, or like the Illuminati will have like a grand Klansman or some shit, whatever they call him. They'll say, "Oh, well, there's a black dude who's a big." Well, because yeah, because some of the black people also subscribe to the inclusionist, the anti-civil. Yeah, I know it's a little weird for a black person to be anti-civil rights, but yeah, sometimes they're like isolationist, anti-civil rights, anti-helping people. They think that we should help people less. We should keep everything for ourselves. Um, you know, and so they see it like as like people on welfare like taking, and like they don't see it as like trying to help others, or that's why a lot of those companies like they want to pay the minimal salary, you know what I mean? But the way the other people look at it is like we're the slaves and your whole company exists because we work for you. You know what I mean? Like we're making all the money and you're. Oh boy, it's a mess. But I'm just trying to explain the different ways of thinking. The basic Republican, basic Democrat way of thinking. Um, the Democrats and Republicans like to meet in the middle, whereas the MAGA and the progressives, the MAGAs really wants to keep everything to themselves, and the progressives super want to share everything. The Democrats and Republicans more like to meet in the middle and see, and that's why it's been so successful for so long. But you have someone like Trump in controls really pulling it hard, but it's also a reaction, like some say Obama pulled it hard to the left, so the reaction is hard to the right. A lot of people are saying there should be more parties in America where you have Democrat, Republican, MAGA, progressive, independent. I'm independent. I like listen to what they have to say and go by each individual. So I used to be registered Democrat, but I didn't like how they fucked over Bernie Sanders. So and then I didn't want to be affiliated with any party. You know what I mean? So I registered independent, which I guess is a party. Um, I didn't like the Green Party because the Green Party is too weak and small and too many weirdos like Ralph Nader. Like he's like said some racist shit. I don't know. Just I don't know. I just took a look at the Green Party and said no thanks. They're a fucking mess. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say like super woke agenda, but like just like well, because I believe in LGBT rights and all that stuff doesn't bother me. But like what I mean is because I do believe in fighting for the environment, but I'm more like a moderate Democrat. I guess I'm more like Joe Biden, man. I'm kind of like Joe Biden and Clinton a little bit. And Bernie Sanders. I like a lot of Bernie Sanders ideas. I like Amy Klobuchar's ideas. I like Elizabeth Warren's ideas. Um, I like Liz Cheney because she had the balls to stand up to Trump, even though she got excommunicated. And even though I would never like her, she's always the type of person I would never get along with, a billionaire woman. But at least she had the balls to stand up for the Constitution. Because, you see, it was never supposed to be where you roll by bullying, where like Trump kind of bullies. This is what I don't like is the bullying, where like Susan Collins says, "Oh, I'm concerned," but they like all the Republicans have to vote the same, and then all the Democrats are supposed to vote the same, and then if some of the Democrats don't vote the same, they're like it's like creating this like bullying atmosphere. The government was never supposed to be that way. That's what's making me so sick. Because like, who cares who voted on what issue, man? They're like bombing kids in Gaza. They're bombing people in Russia. They're bombing people in Ukraine. And you want to talk about who voted on this issue? Like, you're getting too into it at that point. And I mean, to a certain degree, unless it's because you're supposed to vote on each other's issues. It's supposed to. That's how this thing works. That's why the democracy works because Republicans and Democrats vote on each other's issues. You represent your constituents. I represent my constituents. We meet in DC and we find common ground in the middle. Sometimes I'll vote on a Republican issue. You'll convince me. Sometimes you'll vote on a Democratic issue. I'll convince you. That's why it's worked for 200 years. If it becomes so polarized that all Republicans vote on one thing and all Democrats vote on another thing, then you need more parties because then it's just like a fascist, and one side could bully the other, which is kind of what's happening right now. They're trying not to let it, that's what's attempting to happen right now. And so you need multiple parties unless they somehow start being like this again. But even then, maybe Trump has a point that the left is taking uh, subsidies and kickbacks and handouts, and the Democrats got too comfortable, and maybe the Republicans got too comfortable because it's like these two people, and the populists probably agree with what I'm saying. The two parties got too comfortable, both of them. They, I think for sure. I used to be against another party, but that's because I'm from a time when people would vote on each other's issues. That's what this is supposed to represent. Democrats and Republicans voting on each other's issues. But because they're so polarized, maybe you do need another party to break it up. A Green Party, maybe the Greens not enough, but independent, progressive, MAGA. I think MAGA Republican, and a I don't know if it's a mistake, but you don't want to like get rid of MAGA because even if they're white nationalists, even if you want to call them Nazis, they're still, whether we like it or not, part of the fabric of our country from the Civil War. And that's, the 13 states, man. That's who these people are. We're not getting rid of them. They're part of our country, just like they're not getting rid of me. We're not getting rid of you. So we all get a seat at the table. MAGA Republicans, regular Republicans, Democrats, progressive Democrats, and independent. That's what I propose, a five-party system. MAGA Republicans, you don't get rid of anyone. Because some people say, oh, get rid of the fascists. But no, you don't want, that's a problem because then now you're the fascist. So yeah, say that Trump was a Nazi and everyone wanted to overthrow him. And I saw someone say, "Oh, throw the Nazi in the dumpster." Okay, well they get a seat at the table, man, because you can't become the fascist yourself. So they get 20%. Liz Cheney, Republicans get 20%. Joe Biden, Democrats get 20%. Bernie Sanders, AOCs get 20%. You know, and let's see how many of these. Uh, what I'm curious about is how many of these cash cow senators would agree with giving up, because right now was it 52% to 48%? How many of them will drop down to 20%? Say, okay, I'll call your deal. How many of them will give up to 20% of their power? Do you hear what I'm saying? To allow these different parties, because that would mean the Republicans give up. 30%, that means the Democrats give up 30%, and that means that 60% is divided up amongst three new parties. They're basically the same people there, but now the Mitt Romneys are separated. Mitt Romneys and Liz Cheney's are separated from the. I don't know how it would play out, but you know what? It does kind of exist already. And people talk a lot that don't know what they're talking about. They say, oh, there's only two. Well, really, the Democrats did have 30 candidates, and Joe Biden did rise up as the best one to take on Trump. He was the most qualified, the most experienced, and yes, the most moderate, which people took as like a steadying ship. So Biden probably he won fair and square the primaries out of the 30 candidates. So I don't buy that there was only two. There was 30 candidates. Marianne Williamson wasn't very good. One of the problems is like people like me can't run because I don't have $10 million. So only millionaires can really get into government, which is a problem. But there were 30 candidates, you know, 2 dozen candidates. But there's not enough green candidates to form a party. There's not enough independents to form a party. That's part of the problem. Like AOC's progressive, Bernie's independent. There's a few other independents, but there's not enough people to form a whole party. So I think the MAGA and Republicans should split, but they're happy behind. This is what I'm saying. They're happy. They don't want to give up the Democrat, and then they're saying the Democrats would have to give up 30% of their power. I don't think they'd, you know what I mean? I don't think they'll be on board. All right, back into Zelda. Let's go. Happy I got all that off my chest, man. I watched the news. It's just, and then I just posted the news from this morning, but there's probably news right now. You know what I mean? Like it's just nonstop, man. He said he makes fireworks. This guy crying down here. See, the other thing is, I love the government. I mean, I love the United States. I don't always love the players. I don't always love the politicians or the people playing the game. You know what I mean? It's like I love Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't always love the dungeon master. Sometimes you need a better dungeon master. So uh, America's pretty cool because you can vote for someone else. But they were saying today, there's something that no one wants to say, dude. Like, what if the economy does turn around? What if what if the tariff thing does work? Well, because some countries negotiate, and it's a mess, man. someone was saying it is a bit unfair, but like the another thing is they do it indiscriminatory. Where like some countries, the reason it's so out of balance is because they're a third world nation and they can't afford it. So it's out of balance. We help them a lot, and it, you know, it spreads good word around the world. And um, like the penguins, for example, they don't give us a lot because they don't have a lot. We're trying to help the ecosystem, yeah. So that's why it looks out of balance. But you see, you have to dig a little deeper than just across the board saying, oh, 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%. Like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. The problem is they don't give a shit, man. They're just like indiscriminatory. Going, ugh. That's how it seems, anyway. Who was that guy who said, oh no, there aren't any tariffs, and then... Alright, focus on the game. Yeah, the guy said, oh, there aren't any tariffs, and then the stock market went up. And then he said, oh, there are tariffs, and it went back down. And they were like, look how the media can affect the stock market in real time. Alright, anyway, to the game. So the elders were supposedly headed to the rock rust quarry in the northwest, and the burrow to the north. I don't like quarry in the game, man. You'll see northwest of here, rock roast. Sits to the north. Lizalfos burrow sits on the northern lava lake. It leads to a spooky cave in the volcano where monsters called Lizalfos live. Got it. Lizalfos. Maybe Nugget of Wisdom number 8. No, not 52 either. There's something behind this wall. Well, I've already been in there, right? Oh. Might be better with a spear guy. What about a bird? I have these. These guys are a pain in the butt. Bomb droppers. Last used all the way at the end. Zero, Aguro, Mothula. How come he's down here? Look there. Oh, forget him. I need to get one of them guys. I'm getting so many fast. I need to switch this to last learn. Yeah. Did I get two? Yeah, I know. I miss working, man. I do. I made good money. I went on vacation and had a car. Went out to lunch every day. That's why. We work better as a pair. Oh no, I don't want to fall. Good. Found the main rift. How do you get over there? Oh. Easy. Oh, you should always travel. Should I go in here? What's up with these Gorons? Hungry, tired, caught up. What's going on in here? Damn, they came in here for some rock roast. They want their rock roast. Yeah, but the Echo, they don't like to eat the Echo. You've got to... You have got to... No! Oh, no. Yeah, I need some fresh ones. Where do I take it? Can I go this way? The answer is no. Just do it. You know what to do. I don't have any water like in Baldur's Gate. Never makes that one easy, but toss this one straight. This guy hungry? Just need 3 more. You just push the wrong button and throw it. Jesus. He's gonna make some more. Oh my god. No! Oh my god. I feel like this isn't that hard, but I'm like making it hard. There. Place it, don't toss it.
Hey!
Dude. I'm glad they don't make you do it 3 times. Rock roast. I should go get some roast beef at the store. And that baguette, the baguette is so good. Never been a great chief like my father. They want us to do this rift first. This one I got stuck in. And this one I've never been to. Man, I wish I wasn't sick and tired all the time. And my body aches and shit. Not terribly, just like... tired. No. So you can do 2 of those things now. That's good. Get some hot shoes. my goodness. Thought we had them. How far up can you go? Oh. Oh my. Well, you could just warp up there anyway. I don't know what I'm dilly-dallying for. You know what's funny? I think Trump Trump is Antifa because he says I'm not fascist. Well, then you're Antifa then, right? If you're speaking out against fascism. I don't know. Was there ever a group? Because in 2020 there was Antifa, but was that a group or was it just anyone who's against fascism? Because even Trump was said I'm not a anyway. These more hungry guys? Oh look, remember the guy who used to be guarding the thing? He's not there anymore. It's cold. I gotta go to the store and get my cat some food. I gave him a can of tuna fish, and they're sleeping like. Man, are they a crash, man? They must have really liked that tuna fish. Alright, I get it. They want me to kill these Lizalfos. Uh-oh. I was not prepared for that. Ready now. Damn, that guy's railing. It's not even close. That dude's kicking his butt. I mean, it's a bit like cheating. That might not be the best. That might not be the best echo to use against them. Well, it just shows that I don't really know what I'm doing. I ranted for an hour about politics, and I should, if I'm gonna do that, I should have a full-on political rant and not during a Zelda game, where it's like kind of lost, right? What I could do is edit it out. But I don't know that it was a cohesive rant as much as just... I don't know that it was organized. Into topics. As opposed to dedicated a dedicated broadcast onto an issue like these guys are a whole new level though. Fuck, one hit? Oh my god. I don't know if maybe plant guys? These guys? What about the armadillos? Dark Nut 3? Armadillo, you put him in the last used. Dark Nut 3? Yeah, let's try that Dark Nut 3. That's good there. This guy works because they really go after him. You could use him as like a shield. That being said, let me switch to the He said he wants to go in. No, he's just gonna get himself trapped. Like, ooh. Next thing you know, it'll be like, oh, help me! Help me, Zelda! Let me learn these fire bats. Fire bat's good. This is the first time you play as Zelda, because it's kind of cool though, and then the way they say like, Zelda, look. Move, good move. Well done. Can you do one of these and one of these? Yeah? He's impressed. Oh, so he got some and I got the others. I don't think that's it. The shortcut that leads to the crater. Hmm. Don't forget the shortcut I told you about. Uh-oh, they left us alone just like that. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Well, my dad was strong and dependable. People respected him, but I'm not like that. I only did that because of you helping me. I can make calculations, but I don't have the skills like Dad. I told him I could do this, but I'm scared. I don't want to give up, though. I'm not going to be the kind of chief my father was, and that's okay, because I'm him. I am me. And I will do everything I can to help everybody. After everything that's happened, it's okay to do things my way as chief. Zelda, let's go back to Gorod City and speak with them elders again. I got a hunch talking more with Golor Silv might jog some memories. See you there. Oh, he seems a little better. Lizzleboro completed. Is it? I don't think so. The rift is still there. No one knows the shortcut. I don't remember. What do you want me to say? One more thing. What is the shortcut? It used to be a path that the Goron used. You had to go through its trials to become chief. The custom faded long ago. Oh. Purify in the crater to take on the title of chief. So the shortcut is related to the chief of chiefs. But that's me now, isn't it? Or Dad. Oh, Darstan, your father, that's it. I remember now. Your father once said something about blocking off the path in my room. Come to think of it, I reckon I heard him say something like that too. Let's go check it out. It's probably the crater, the rift. Come this way, this way. And he's gone. Well, in Baldur's Gate, you could hit the button and like do it like a search. Wait, why was I supposed to go in there? Oh, it's obviously behind that. So... Well, I think what you have to do is this. Wait. What about... I know what. This guy, right? There. No? Oh. Well. What do you do? Poor kid's traumatized. It's in there, but how do you get in there? Do you have to come back later, or do I have something? Win? Seems like he's behind that thing, but... We'll have to figure it out next time, I guess. I don't know how to get in there though. Wait. What am I missing?
Oi!
Another one of these. I didn't mean to, there's something I have that can open that.
Yeah.
Do I have a chisel? Oh, we did kill some lavalos. I don't think those guys help you, do they? Something in here. Did he say it and then I not hear it? Oh. Oh. should have been eat. I should have known. I walked all around and then actually I just accidentally hit the button. Here we go. We got in. Progress. Borrow some wings. Always better to do this on this. Well, you can get over there like that. You could do it. You might have to do this. Alright, one more death and then we'll wrap it up. That's right, made it without you. It doesn't necessarily work. What about this? No, it will bend. One more? Yes, I can. actually get in the way. The old bed trick. Oh no. No. Bullshit. No. Ooh. No. the coin. Look at it, makes you so happy. There's something missing here. I'm supposed to climb up under this, actually. Wait. Hmm. Oh, well. Oh wait, I could learn this? Oh. Ah. Well, that explains it. That explains a lot. As we make it through the Goron. He did it. He did it. He did it. What was really important to you, he said. My way. Yeah, yeah. Got it. Warp zone. So when we come back, we could start right here. You gotta go to the store, man. Yeah, totally. Gotta get this cat some food. They got food now, but they're gonna wake up in like a few hours hungry, so. Fix this one and it should fix the other ones, he said. I'll open it now. Stand back, Zelda. Next time we'll play Goron Rift. Goron Rift, Elden Volcano next time on Legend of Zelda. Thanks for watching.